Hello and welcome to a 2019 review of the Charles Schwab Challenge. Kevin Na is the winner, so congratulations to Kevin Na. It was a fun tournament that he won. Things that you may not know in the tournament if you didn't watch it. He gave the winner gets an old restored muscle car, and I can't remember the year. I think it was like a 1971 Dodge Challenger. Gave it to his caddy, so that was pretty cool. Just adds to the Kevin Na mystique, shows he's a good guy. Tony Finau finished second. I had said in my preview not to play him, or I should say his last week bucket kind of disqualified him from finishing inside the top 10. But I followed it up with if there was a player to break that mold, it would have been him. And sure enough, he did. I do want to talk about some notes before I get into the spreadsheet. So I want to talk about Jason Kokrak. We knew he withdrew prior to the tournament starting. I didn't know what it was. I didn't talk about it, so that's why I didn't bring it up. But it is for an undisclosed reason, and that typically means it's a private matter, and that typically means it's a family matter. Not sure if that's correct or true, but if it is, it might be something to worry about in the near future. Is this going to be a mental thing he's going to bring into the next tournament? Will it be a reprieve? So it gets him out of thinking about that. I don't know. But it's not an illness and it's not an injury. At least for the most part, these types of things, when it says undisclosed, typically don't mean injury of any kind. So that's worth noting. Also, Louis Oosthuizen withdrew on the driving range prior to his tee time. He had an afternoon tee time, which means lineup block already happened on DraftKings. If you've been around playing DFS golf a lot, this is what Louis Oosthuizen does. And I don't know, like the tour should give him the earliest tee time possible, honestly, because it'd be great to know that offhand. He does this a lot. And I would say if you went back and you looked at how much he does it or how many times he's done it, you will probably see he has like a 20 to 30% clip of withdrawing um, prior to playing in a tournament or at lineup block, or I should say after lineup block. It's frustrating. It's completely tilting, but it's not as tilting as rostering Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm, his 16th hole on Friday, so his second round before the cut, he double bogeys in the worst way possible. He bombs a drive into the left rough on the short par four. He could easily hit an iron, could have hit a 3-wood, could have hit something that has more control, but he bombs a driver left rough. Gives him like 60 to 80 yards. I can't remember the total number, but he had a small tree in front of him. And if I was to compare it to like human years, it was a teenage tree. It was just thin. So he tries hitting this like punch shot. I don't know if he was trying to fade the ball, but his feet were pointed completely left of the target. So it would indicate he's either trying to play something really high or he's trying to cut a ball around the tree. With that short a distance, it's difficult to do. Not saying the pros can't do it, but when you have any lofted club trying to hit any kind of curve whatsoever, it's almost impossible. So long story short, he flushes it against the tree, ricochets back into the hazard right to his left. He goes up, looks for it for 2 seconds, drops the ball, finishes the hole, makes a double bogey. At the time, he was +3. He was one away from the cut. But at that time, it was looking like +3 might be the cut because a lot of people were dropping. It was probably at +2 at that time or +1. But, he was making a charge. And actually, I'm not going to look into it. He may have birdied the hole before or he may have bogeyed. I can't remember, but his back nine scorecard were nothing but bogeys and birdies. So I don't remember what it was. But he was there. He was in contention. I don't know. Playing him is just it's awful. I don't see the emotional outbursts anymore, but his play seems like an emotional outburst. It fluctuates. I don't know if you can rely on him. He's not a reliable golfer. Completely volatile, and at his price, we probably shouldn't have played him. Xander was my second guy I was on. Actually, he was my top guy. I played him played him in two of my one and dones. He missed the cut. His Thursday round did not look good. I don't know if he was fatigued from the PGA Championship. I know he grinded it out quite a bit, but he had this look that he was either fatigued or he just wasn't committed. He didn't care. I don't know what it was, but his Friday round he finished bogey free. I'm guessing Thursday was more of a fatigue round. Friday tried to make it, and he missed the cut by one shot. So he made a birdie, I think, on his second to last hole, which was pretty fantastic. It had a good feel to him making the cut, but he tried. Just put it at that. The winning lineup for the $5 drive the green. It's those are typically the highest entry fees that I'll play on a given slate. It was 505 points, and I looked at it. He could have replaced Emiliano Grillo and Scott Piercy with Andrew Putnam and Tony Finau, and he would have got about 55 more points out of the lineup. So really, there was opportunity to score more points. This was not the optimal lineup. So when we look at the buckets here on the DK page, we will see that it would have worked if we would have followed the buckets, or if he would have followed the buckets, it would have worked. I put in the 2019 buckets of how people did, and what we noticed in the preview, we wanted 1-1s. You see them all over, and we wanted 2-1s. Again, you see those all over as well. I mean, I should say there was at least one instance in each tournament. Well, there just happens to be right there as well. And that would be a starting lineup in DK. This would be the top 6. What's surprising is looking at the last year bucket and seeing all the 2-1s. Could have played Ryan Palmer, because that's who this guy is. And that would have done well. But if you just look at all of the other years prior to, you just had a mix. I mean, obviously, like I said, you wanted your 1-1s and your 2-1s, so you knew you wanted a 1 and a 2. And I guess looking at everything too, you typically had 2-1s and 2-2s. I think that's what the min max was. The min on the 2s and the 1s were 2. So I even said in the lineup construction that I was going to create basically nothing but dark green and light green, and these are your 1s and these are your 2s. This ended up being the it wasn't Ryan Palmer. Who was supposed to be there? I was kind of messing around with the lineups to see, CT10, to see what someone could have put there instead. So CT10. So $3,000, it would have been left over if you would have started this way and then just randomized that. I played a lot of yellows. I really liked Xander, so I was kind of trying to fix that. Yeah, man, I didn't play any extra light greens. Something to look into. All right, oh, there we go. I did here. Actually, this is the lineup that made me money, the most money. Now that I look at it. Not that you guys really care, but interesting. I didn't see that before. But anyways, yeah, that's, trying to follow that bucket system. Again, Tony Finau broke the mold of the 6s. We don't see any 6s whatsoever in any of these last week buckets, but so did Andrew Putnam. And we'll get into those players right now. So again, Kevin Na won. It was a 2-3. He had decent bentgrass stats. Basically anything over 7% is a golfer you want to use. And honestly, like if you look, everyone has at least some bentgrass stats. Uh, I'll go down the list. So Kevin Na, we were interested in him. I didn't say anything about him in the preview, which I think I was just more fixated on the 2-1s than I was on any of the other 2s. So my apologies that I didn't go through the list, but Kevin Na was a guy I was interested in, and he cashed for me in a bunch of my lineups. Actually, surprisingly, I had Kevin Na, Tony Finau, and Rory Sabbatini in most of my lineups. I can show you. I did not have Sabatini, but I did have Tony Finau, Kevin Na. Huh. Got Piercy, KH Lee. Gosh, I could have swore that I played Sabatini. Guess not. Well, going back up here though, like CT Pan was a player that I really liked, and I even said that in the preview that I liked him. I did not star his name, but I did play him in a couple of my lineups. Andrew Putnam I played, I liked, and again it was because this is something you're not going to be able to just see from the spreadsheet. I guess you would have just got from my analysis, but he does pretty well on bent grass, and he has good putting stats on bent grass. I guess, or maybe it's just that's what I remember. I don't have the proof to show you that. I just remember him finishing in a bunch of bent grass golf or golf tournaments, and he finished well. So that's why I was on Andrew Putnam. I wouldn't have played the 2 6s together because again, I thought it was a disqualifier. So, I guess shame on me. Jonas Blixt was somebody that a couple people were interested in the DFS industry, and I don't know why. Like I heard it, and when I heard it, I wasn't sure exactly what got people on. Maybe if you were looking at rolling stats and you just looked at either the last 4, 8, 12, 16 rounds, maybe you would have seen something that would have caught your eye. The stats I pull from are from the PGA website and they go from the beginning of the year. So I don't see anything that really implies that Jonas Blixt was due for playing well here. I guess at 6,500 and having a course history at an average of 42nd place, may be good. I guess when you do the differential, when you do the ratio of price per expected finishing position, maybe that's how you get on Jonas Blixt. I don't know, but he was a 1-1, and I believe there were, shoot, I forget how many 1-1s they were, but it won't be difficult to actually sort through all of this. There are 27 1-1s. So I wasn't on any of the top ones. I did like Peter Uline. I didn't really talk about him. I don't know how many lineups I played, maybe 1 or 2. But I did like him, or at least he was like part of the cascade method. I switched to him on a couple of them. But I was on 9 of the golfers. Matt Every being the best one. I mean, you could have played Matt Every in some of these lineups and would have done well. If you would have had the rest of the core, Matt Every would have been a good finisher. But let's get back to top 10. Ryan Palmer, Texas guy. He hadn't. Okay, first of all, Colonial is he's a member at Colonial. And I did not say that. Actually, I didn't talk about any of the 3s except for Xander. Because I was so high on Xander, I didn't talk about the rest of them. But Ryan Palmer is a member at Colonial Country Club. So that is his home track. It's just, I wasn't really on him. He had a morning tee time. He was playing with Speith, which, gosh, I wish I would have created some Ryan Palmer, Jordan Speith lineups. God, man, that really irks me. I missed out, but what can you do? Ryan Palmer has a lot of bent grass events, and the average finishing position wasn't the greatest, but he has quite a bit of top 10 success. So really, what that says, he finishes top 10 quite a bit, but then he also has some volatile rounds that make that average a bit high. And looking at the rest of the stats, really he was the highest birdie or better player in the field. Well, I shouldn't say in the field, of the top 10. In the top 10, he was a good rated birdie or better player, followed by Ty Hatton. I'm sorry, Jordan Speed. So again, I guess they were two guys to play. Gosh, really kicking myself for not playing them. That stinks. Going down the list, Rory Sabbatini was a 2-1. If you don't remember, I was really on Bill Haas. Bill Haas was the 2 that I was looking for. Or I should say the 2-1, because that did matter to me. Bill Haas finished in 48th place. I did say that Rory Sabbatini and or Von Taylor, I should say and or. It was either Sabbatini or Von Taylor I thought had a better chance of finishing inside the top 10. I just kind of went with a gut feeling with Haas. I did play some Sabbatini. Not in the lineups I thought I did, but he definitely was in some of the lineups I cashed, so that's good. I wasn't going to deter it, you know. I knew a 2-1 needed to be up there. And really, I could have played all the 2-1s. There weren't a lot of them. But I kind of condensed it to Bill Haas, and I played some Von Taylor, and I played some Sabbatini as my 2-1s. And I think I had 2-1s in just about every lineup. I swear I would have had to. So Bill Haas, switched it out, I guess, just in case that there wasn't one. But yeah, a lot of Bill Haas. I guess I didn't play much Sabbatini. Some Von Taylor, some Andrew Putnam. Crazy. Okay, well, I guess I didn't play. Did I play 0 Sabbatini? 5 lineups. 5 lineups, so about 6% of my lineups. I don't know where they were. I'm not going to go back and look at them. That's fine. Yeah, but I guess firing off the next ones, Jordan Spieth, I had said, you know, play at your own risk. His PGA Championship performance didn't look the greatest. He was hooking a lot of his iron shots, missing the greens, and also his tee shots. So with this being a tree-lined golf course, I wasn't confident with Jordan Spieth, but everything matched up. I think there was a 4 in every single. And there's one there. Yeah, there was a 4. Oh, never mind. All but one. Is that what it was? Okay. Well, I had some confidence in playing him, just wasn't dedicated or committed. Really liked Ty Hatton. He was definitely a player I was on. And the next 3, not so much. I think I played some Watney. I played 0 Russell Knox. Some people were on him in the golf industry, but I was not. Yeah, I mean, top 10%. Typically, I like to go 7% or higher. Obviously, there's a 5 and a 4. Well, there's 2 4s and a 5. Probably wanted to play those if you wanted to win some money, but you didn't have to. Well, Putnam, I think, was the second scoring person in DraftKings, despite being 3rd. But yeah, he was definitely. So that's that's a review of the bucket system, basically, or a review of the 2019 Charles Schwab as how I do it via the bucket system. I don't have anything else to add to that. At least I don't think I do. Oh, I did mention stacking tee times together. So you had Jordan Spieth and Ryan Palmer. Otherwise, you had no one else. I do like to look at the morning afternoon splits, you know, the PM AM stack or the AM PM stack. Typically, you have one shows up more than the other, and in fact, we do see the afternoon shows up a little bit more than the morning. You had 4 as opposed to 6, 7. So you had 7 p.m. Tee times compared to 4, and really, I guess it's 5 and 8 because the top 10 just below it. Actually, one more morning. Just kidding. It's 5 morning to 7 afternoon. So it was pretty split. I don't know. I don't know how prevalent that is going forward. You know, at this tournament at least. Not sure. And really, it's just a mix between the two. But again, Kevin Na is your winner. So again, congratulations to Kevin Na, and I will be making a preview show tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning. I'm sorry, tomorrow evening, and hopefully we'll find some easy winners, or at least easy buckets to follow through. It's not following a major championship, so we should have a better should be a better process this time through. So we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. I actually created a Twitter, so I will link the Twitter, and I will try to be. I really haven't used Twitter much, so I'll try to be active on it. I'm not sure what you guys want to see, but I will be posting the videos on there so you can see when they are live. That's just another thing to see, other than subscribing to the channel, and give the like if you can. With that, I bid you adieu. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.